Definitely not do a flight today. It's way too windy. So what we're going to do is actually do a quick little wind test with the DJI Mavic Air in my backyard. We've got about 25-mile-an-hour constant winds, and we got about a 32-mile-an-hour gusts here and there. So I don't want to risk it and send the drone out and end up having a loss or a crash. I really want to fly this thing so bad, but the weather is just not cooperating. So I'm going to fly it right here in the backyard. We'll basically do a wind test and give us an idea of what you can expect with a windy day. Yeah, this weather has not been the most cooperative. It's been windy. This morning it was raining with like a snowy mixture. Wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to get the drone in the air. And it is very windy and very gusty. We're going to go ahead and take off. And looks and sounds like I'm getting a lot of oscillations there. Look at the way it's shaking. Now, I know it is windy, but it doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound right. It shouldn't be shaking as bad as it is. So getting a lot of oscillations there. Yeah, it definitely feels like something's off. Definitely doesn't feel right. Besides the oscillations, though, it is fairly stable considering the wind and the wind gusts. We're up to 32-mile-an-hour wind gusts today. Obviously, I'd love to fly it further away, but with the wind being like this, I'm not going to chance it. And with getting a new drone in general, it's better just to keep it close. That way you can figure it out how it behaves, its characteristics. It's good to know all this before you go sending it far away, doing any kind of range tests or anything like that. And this is just going to be kind of like a wind test. That's all we're really doing, is just seeing how stable this is in the wind. But we are getting some bad oscillations, and you can hear it. It's just the propellers sound like something's off. So I don't know if maybe the props are unbalanced. We'll have to take a look. And I'll bring this down, but it feels very, very steady, side to side. Definitely gonna have to take a better look at this. But it is flying. Besides the oscillations, it's flying really well. GPS is working good. It's keeping its position. And we're going to test every single last aspect of this drone, all the flight modes and all that. I'm just waiting for this weather to finally break. 6 more weeks of winter, they're saying, here in Delaware. And then we'll be looking forward to the spring. But I'm just going to kind of keep it low here. Look at those gusts. Look at those trees back there. You can see just how windy it is. And, I mean, I will say it's definitely more stable, even with the oscillations, than my Phantom 3 Standard was with winds this high. I would never even attempt to send my Phantom 3 Standard in winds like this, even as high as I have this. But we are getting a lot of bad oscillations, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and land the craft and take a better look and see if we can figure out what's causing these oscillations. So, well, I lost the whole second half, basically, of my flight, which I'm really upset about. My action camera, I forgot that I had turned the looping off, so it got to 10 minutes of record time, and it just stopped, and I didn't realize it because it was on my head. But I will say I did fix the oscillation problem. So, what I did was I landed the craft. I did another compass calibration outside, because remember, the first compass calibration I did was inside, and I forgot to do that. I think that was definitely the problem. It needed to be calibrated outside. And the second thing I did was I double-checked all the props. I kind of, because I did take the props off to do the IMU calibration, so I put all the props back on. I made sure that they were, tight, and I spun them in the lock mode as much as I could to make sure they were all secure and they were all exactly in there right. And when I took it off the second time, this thing was rock solid, and I will definitely have more video to show you because there's going to be another windy days, I'm sure. Maybe even tomorrow I'll send it up just to show you just how stable this craft is in the wind. It truly, truly impressed me how stable it was. Wow, I just can't get over how stable this craft was in the wind. And I will give you a little spoiler alert. I did try some of the obstacle avoidance, and it worked exactly like advertised, guys. I basically flew it straight towards my neighbor's fence, and it completely went up and over the fence without me even having to touch the altitude stick. So impressed with this drone right now. I am just so impressed. Yeah, I will definitely do another flight, and we'll show you just how stable it is. I don't want you to think I'm lying to you when I tell you, but I lost the whole second half of the footage. My neighbor even came out and was checking it out, and he was like, oh man, you know, that thing looks amazing. And I mean, it was gusting up to 30 some miles an hour, and this craft was just solid. I mean, it was moving a little bit, but it was solid, man. I am just so impressed with how stable this thing was in the wind. And I definitely will show you a video on that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please stay tuned. Please subscribe and hit that like button. I have more exciting content coming soon for the DJI Mavic Air. Thanks so much, guys. Edrone out. Yeah.